All right. Can you take a look around and see if there's anything else that on this page that might be relevant to?
Let's see. Our most popular plan for new members and first-time car shares. Key plan details. Then there's an extra value plan. When you join, rates shown for EVP $50. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Rates shown for extra value plan $50. I have no idea what that means. But I have no annual fee. Monthly commitment is a $50 minimum, so I have to spend at least $50 a month for this to be able to do this. Mm-hmm. And then it costs me $25, same $25 application fee, but then I get a 10% discount on everything I spend. So I guess I would have to figure out if it makes more sense if I drive enough to do this extra value plan. Mm-hmm. Or if I do the occasional driving plan.
Okay.
But I still have no idea what that rate's shown for EVP $50. I don't know what that means.
Okay. All right, good.
I don't like not knowing what things mean.
All right, great. So the bottom line is you figured out what it would cost you a month, and there's also this other possibility that you would have to go ahead and do the math to figure out whether that was better deal for you. Okay. Right. You feel like you sort of understand what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. Then I have another task for you to do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and this one is, I'm going to read this one out loud, which is, you're concerned about whether you'll always be able to get a car when you need one. Find out what Zipcar promises about availability.
Okie dokie. All right, so I'm looking over here. This is rates and plans. I don't want this. So I'm going to go back to the top here. Mm-hmm. Join a Zipcar for me, how it works, find cars. Well, let me look at find cars.
Okay.
See if that tells me. Well, let's see. This tells me to enter my address to find the nearest Zipcars. Find cars by location. Well, this tells me where they are. I don't know if it tells me about availability, but maybe I'll look.
Okay.
Find cars by location. All right. Enter my address or choose my neighborhood. I'll choose my neighborhood. Let's see if they have my neighborhood. Brookline. All right, we'll put in Brookline.
Okay.
And this shows me where all the Zipcars are and how many of them are available. Meet the cars. All right, so now I'm looking at a map, which is big old map. Let me find my neighborhood. Huh.
How are you thinking you're going to do that?
This is a little map. I've got to go up or down, and I'm trying to figure out where I am. And I think I'm down here. So I'm going to hit the little arrow that takes me down. Okay. But I'm not seeing anything here in my neighborhood. But it's still Brookline. I live in Brookline. But I don't see anything. All the little markers saying that there are cars there. I live in South Brookline, but it's not telling me. So it's not showing me anything on this map.
Okay.
About South Brookline.
That's near you. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go back here and see if I can put in South Brookline and see if anything comes up.
Okay.
If they have it on here. They do not.
Okay.
Well. Maybe I'll put in my address.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what that comes up there. Okay. All right. So now it shows me where exactly shows my house with a little smiling red balloon, and then a few blocks away it shows me where the zip car is.
Okay.
And I'm going to click on that zip car, and it says it's got a muckraker Mazda for $9.25 an hour, or $69 a day, which is a different rate than what they told me on the original rate page. So I'm confused about that.
Okay. You expect it to be the same rate?
Expect it to be the same rate, and I actually don't like that when that happens, and I often that's sometimes my frustration point when I'm on a site, and I just leave because I feel like I don't trust this whole thing, and I don't know what they're doing, and they're ripping me off.
Okay.
So I go away.
All right. Can we try, now that you've come across that, can we go back to the specific task again and see if you can figure out what they promised you about? No, that was very good.
Okay.
That was perfect. But
okay.
I just want to see if you can find an answer to that specific question about whether you're always going to be able to get a car when
All
you
right,
need
I'm
one.
going to look at a zip car for me. And I'm scanning down to see. I don't want a cute car to match my shoes. That's not what I'm looking for. It's interesting. A zip car for me. I take public transportation, but I need a car sometimes. It doesn't tell me if it's. Let's see how it works. No. Reserve. I'm going to click on reserve, which is the 4 simple steps, and see what that tells me. You can do it online or over the phone. Choose the car you want. Choose the time slot you want at the location you want. Reserve minutes or months in advance. But that doesn't tell me exactly. It says I can do it minutes in advance, but what does that mean? Is it always available? Frequently asked questions, perhaps.
Okay.
All right. How do I join? Can I drive the same day I join? How do I reserve a car? Okay, let's look at that. And that just tells how to reserve it. Huh. Well. Reserving zip cars. Okay, up here on the top, under questions, is reserving zip cars.
Okay.
Will a car be available when I want one? Okay. It's natural for new members to worry. Half of all reservations are made the same day. We monitor utilization closely, keeping availability high. Even if the zip car right around the corner isn't available, you still be able to reserve one located only a few blocks away. It says it's always going to be available. That's what it's telling me.
Okay, but what do you think? What's your sense of it?
My sense is that I would like something much more specific. That it might not be available.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Okay.
That's kind of exactly what we needed.
Okay.
And do you have any questions for me
I
now that we're done?
I don't. No.
All right. Terrific. Thanks so much for coming in today, and we'll get you your honorarium, and and that should do it. Thanks very much.
You're quite welcome. Okay.
Now that you've watched the test, try making a list of the 3 most serious usability problems that this user encountered. Try to pick the 3 you'd most want to fix if it was your site. Pause the video for a minute and make your list. When you're done, start it up again, and I'll give you my list. Here are the 3 problems I saw that I think it was most important to fix. The user had no problem figuring out the basic idea of the extra value plans, that you get lower rates if you make a monthly commitment, but she was completely stumped by the phrase, rates shown for EVP $50, and she didn't realize that it meant that there was more than one plan. The user didn't feel like she got a satisfying answer about whether she'd always be able to get a car when she wanted one. In her words, "It says it's always going to be available. My sense is that I'd like something much more specific, that it might not be available." Near the end of the session, the The user was surprised to see that the car available in her neighborhood would cost her more than she thought it would, based on what she'd seen on the rates page. She even said that this might make her distrust the whole site and leave. The rates page actually does use the word from to indicate that the prices shown are minimums, but from is on the left side of the column and the prices are on the right. Those are the three that struck me as most important, but there were certainly others that you might have had on your list. For instance, this user didn't notice the extra value plans until I prompted her. This didn't make my top 3 list, though, because I suspect that if I'd let her continue a little longer, she would have noticed them on her own. In an actual test, I probably wouldn't have prompted her as soon as I did, but I wanted to keep the demo short. You might have thought that it was a problem that it took her so long to find the answer to the question about availability. I did too, but I wouldn't consider it one of the most serious problems, because she did find the information more or less where she expected to, even if it did take her longer than it probably should have. The user did have to do a lot of math to figure out how much Zipcar would cost her, but I didn't put it on my top 3 list after watching this particular session, because while it might be a problem for some users, it didn't seem to be a problem for her. I'd be watching to see if other participants in the same round of testing had trouble with it, though. Whatever you had on your list, don't worry if it was different from mine. The point of this exercise wasn't to come up with definitive answers. It was just to give you a feel for the process of identifying the problems. The only people who can come up with the definitive answers about what should be fixed on a site are the people actually working on that site. While we're at it, I'd like to show you how I might try fixing 2 of these problems, just to give you an example of what I mean by doing the least you can do. As I describe in the book, I think it's always best to try to find the simplest solution you can for usability problems, to try tweaking first and only turn to redesign if tweaking doesn't do the job. For instance, take the problem the user had with the phrase rates shown for EVP $50. I'd try getting rid of the phrase and adding tabs for the 4 plans instead. That way it's clear that what you're looking at in the right-hand panel is the rates for one of the 4 available plans. Another tweak might solve the problem of the user not realizing that the hourly and daily rates were minimums. Just moving the word from close to the dollar amount would make it hard to miss. Well, that's it. I hope this video has helped convince you that usability testing doesn't have to be complicated to produce a lot of useful insights. Whether you end up reading the book or not, I hope it encourages you to do some testing on your own website. You're also welcome to download the script that I use for testing at rocketsurgerymadeeasy.com.